Hey guys, Tomo McGrath here. Uh, One of the purposes of the Learning Through Comparison series is to give you a format so you can take techniques you already have and know on one weapon and apply them or tool and apply them correctly on another weapon or tool. So uh, this is a Condor hatchet, I forget which model, but very well constructed. But like a lot of hatchets designed for camping, they have a scabbard or a mask that's meant to go on the head of the axe, and you take this and put it in your packs and your pack. Um, and it's not meant to be mounted on your belt. If it does, it goes through your belt, right? So if you were attacked with something like, if you were attacked and you had something like this on you, you would draw it from your belt and fight with the scabbard on until you get a chance to take the scabbard off. So I've taken a cold steel axe gang hatchet. This is a polypropylene plastic hatchet. Taking the handle down so it matches my Condor hatchet, and you can work the tires with this with a little more safety, because it's a completely blunt edge, than a real piece of steel. You don't want to work the tires with this. You're going to destroy your scabbard, and it's just not good for the tool in general. But hitting the tire with this inexpensive, piece of polypropylene is not going to be a problem, and it's going to be safer to you. If you were to take the scabbard off of this and work on the tires, you don't want to have an overstrike and hit yourself. So there's an advantage to working with a training tool like this. So let's take a look how I do this. Okay, the way I would usually use a hatchet that has a scabbard on it, especially these the heavier hatchet types, as opposed to tomahawk. Tomahawk, sometimes I would put it just in my belt with a scabbard there, but these heavier hatchets, with a full, like a pound and a half head, keep in the pack or on the side of the pack if it has a type of pocket for it. Then take it out, put it in my pocket, and go over to the wood pile, do my work there, bring it back and put it away after that. So the idea here is, what happens if you get attacked? Go into the wood pile, and the scabbard is on the hatchet. Obviously, yeah, these things are unusual, but the Learning Through Comparison series is designed not to give you a magic bullet to teach you how to use these tools as if you're likely to get into a fight with them, but to learn how to analyze all tools and all weapons. How would I use the technique I have with that tool? And it gives you a way to compare things. It teaches you to learn how to learn and learn how to analyze. So keep that in mind when you watch this. So you take this out of your pocket, and you haven't taken the scabbard off yet, and you're attacked. So the way I would use it with the scabbard on is with boxing punches. So if you take it out and your hand is on the lead side, then I'd use it as a jab, either a vertical jab, as we do in penjack, or horizontal jab as you do in boxing. The pros and cons of each. In the boxing, if you're used to it with a horizontal fist, the pro is you're used to it, right? The con is, and the pro is you're taking that wide, flat portion and smacking the guy between the eyes. So you have, against the vertical surface of the head, a lot of surface area where you don't have to be exactly on target and you're likely to still get him. The downside of that is you are having your handle out that may get grabbed. There are counters to that I show in the video, but that's the pro and con of that. With the vertical, the penjack jab, what I teach is hitting a rake down, because in penjack you don't want to pull back along the same pathway, because it's easier to capture an arm. So they will always often hit and flow down. The advantage to that is, one, you're less likely to get captured across the arm if it doesn't retreat along the same path. The other is, if you're, as opposed to a horizontal, your arms, the bad guy's arms are vertical, let's say, so it's easy to slide past that with a vertical tool than if you hold it horizontally, you might get caught against an arm. If, however, the weapon side is back when you draw and you have to engage, then it's Think of it like a cross. Vertical for pen jack style, horizontal for boxing style. You can also do this on a hook. So each of these are done from the draw. It's not in combination. So you would draw and then hook. And here I'm hitting with the top of the hammerhead. So if you figure, you know, this head is at least a pound usually on these hatchets. So you have a 1 pound, if not more, set of brass knuckles, let's say. And the advantage here obviously is your hand is not in those rings of the knuckles, not likely to get damaged. So if your weapon side is back, it'd be a rear hand hook. If it's a weapon side forward, a tool side forward, it'd be a lead hand hook. Then your uppercut from here would come out, and instead of hitting with the knuckles like you would in a real punch, I'm still going with that hammerhead because there's advantages to that. And I'm just coming up here. So from the draw, sneaking up, you know, inside his guard this way, and to pop him in the jaw. And all you're trying to do with these is give yourself enough time to get back and either take the scabbard off if that's available, or turn this into the hammer pole side, P-O-L-L, pole. And the idea here is the hammerhead is usually not covered by a scabbard. So, you know, you could hit with this with full force and full effect. And even though the cutting edge is toward you technically, it's covered by that scabbard. So think of this whole series as a process for you to analyze how to use different tools. And then you could take that, using the technique you already have, most people already have boxing, right? You can take that and say, can I apply that to other tools that I may actually have? Maybe you don't carry a hatchet when you're camping. You know, you can easily do this with a hammer, let's say, if you're a carpenter. So I want you to look at this not written in stone, you have to do this way. I want you to look at it as a way to filter things and analyze things, analyze your tools, and say, how do I take that tool and use it in the most efficient way based on the pros and cons of that tool, the attributes it has, and what technique I already have. Okay, thank you guys. Train hard, but train smart.